In this section, I want to show you how to do a reading that's quite specific for somebody if they have a direct question about something. So for example, about a love reading. So this person's single, who is the right person for them? Who is he? Where are they likely to meet, or how are they likely to meet, and when is that likely to happen? So we can have a look at timing. So you can do this with career, you can do this with health, you can literally do it with anything that is a kind of an open-ended question. So this is a general reading to ask about love, and so we want to know who is the right person, where are we likely to meet them, and when is it likely to happen. So my first card, who is it? Where are they? And when? It's the timing card. So have a look at these. So this is our first, who is the person? So we've got the Six of Gabrielle is the first card that I've drawn here. And let's have a look at the words on the card first of all. Congratulations, you've done a wonderful job. Time to move on to the next project. Awards, scholarships or promotions. So if I was giving advice to somebody in a reading, what would it be about that card that I could tell them about the person that they're likely to meet? So what do you think? Well, first thing that comes to my mind is somebody who has accomplished a great deal. So they're successful, because this is all about success. And remember, the six is all about success. It's about material things and achievement. And also Archangel Gabriel is all about communication. So this is the person who communicates well. They are in communication in some way in their job. So maybe they're a journalist, they're a writer. They do some kind of work that they communicate to others. So that's given us some clues. The person on the card has actually got dark hair as well. So potentially their new partner may have dark hair if it's a man. If it's a woman that they're on the lookout for, then it's a dark-haired lady. So this is somebody who's been quite successful and has accomplished something and maybe just been recently promoted, or they're high up in their field. So that's a little bit about that. What else do you pick up by having a look at the picture? What do you see in the picture? What are some of the themes, the things that stand out for you about the picture? So what I'm getting is this gentleman is riding a horse through the streets. So he's somebody who's quite outgoing. He's somebody who he's successful, but he outwardly displays his success. So he's confident, very self-assured is what I'm picking up here. The other thing is he's on this horse, and the horse is actually moving. We had in a previous video we shown a unicorn, and the unicorn was stationary and standing still. There's a lot of movement. So this person, maybe they travel, they're quite active. It's maybe almost like they come in riding into their life from nowhere. So interesting, but they're definitely a very active kind of person. So that's the information that we get from that card. Where are you likely to meet? So here we go, we've got the Eight of Gabrielle. And what were eights about? Eights, again, were about material things, about abundance. So maybe there's something about when your life changes, when new things come into your life materially, that is when you meet the person. So let's have a little bit more of a look at this. A great deal of activity, sudden and immediate results, important communication. So this is suggesting that you're likely to meet this person where you're in a place where there's a lot of communication going on. The word conference comes into my head straight away, so it feels like there's lots of people around, but that's just my intuition. That's not actually on the card, but it feels like there's something to do with communication. Remember I said this person works in communication, so the likelihood is that you're in the same place, and it feels like it's a work-related thing because 8 is all about material things. It's about manifesting abundance materially. Great deal of activity, sudden and important results. So it feels as though there's lots of people around, there's lots going on in work environment, and boom, it's like it happens out of the blue. It doesn't feel like it's internet dating. It doesn't feel like it's introduced through a friend. I'm sitting in a bar and I'm just sitting there and then somebody approaches you. It doesn't feel like any of that. It feels like this work-related situation. So have a look at the image and see what you can pick up from the different things within the image. What stands out for you? Look at colours, look at the imagery. Okay, so again, there's a lot of movement. We've got all these birds flying around. The birds are all different colours, so it's like there's a lot of different things going on and a lot of different people from all different places. It's almost like everybody's travelled to be in this particular place, and they're all from different walks of life. Interesting that there's a blue sky, and it just feels really good. And also it has a feel of summer around it when I look at that sky. So potentially it's in the summertime. So let's have a look at the timing. Let's see what it says for us about when this is going to happen. So we've got the 2 of Ariel or Ariel, depends on how you pronounce it. And so when we choose a timing card, we want to know about timing. And if we get given a number, so some of the cards have got, you know, like that, which is an Archangel card, will have a number on the top of it. So that could be in 14 days. It's obviously not the 14th month because there aren't 14 months, but it could be 14 months, it could be 14 weeks. In this case, we've got 2. So what does that relate to? Does it relate to 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years? Which one is it? And so what you can do is you can just go within and say, angels, what is it? And just get a sense of what does it feel like? Is it 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 years? I get a sense that it's 2 weeks. It just feels like 2 weeks. What do you think? It feels like it's really, because there's all this action here, it just feels like it's really, really quick. So I'm going to ask again, shuffle again, and say, is it 2 weeks? And I get the Page of Michael, an exciting new challenge. You have what it takes to succeed. So because it's an exciting card, it's got fabulous message on it, that's like a yes to me, okay? Now let's try and draw a card that, so is it 2 years? Draw a card to see, is it 2 years? That doesn't want to come out. This is a way of confirming timings. Oh, there's the jumper. Let's have a look at the jumper. Yes, it's safe to trust the ability to accomplish many things at once. Follow your creative passions. Now, we're kind of getting 2 answers there, aren't we? It could be 2 years, it could be two weeks. But because my sense, my sixth sense and my intuition told me it was 2 weeks, it feels like it is, okay? You could just, you know, pull more cards out just to confirm that. But in any case, it feels like it's going to happen very quickly. Now, a way of really confirming that is we can draw a card for the next 6 months to see what's going to happen. So we'll draw 1 card for each of the months that follow. And let's just pop those back in. So this gives us even more confirmation about, is this straight away or is it in a few months' time? Or is it indeed the 2 years? So let's have a look. So that is my first month. Ooh, they're going everywhere. And a card for my second month. That one. The third month. Month 4. Month 5 and month 6. 6 of Raphael. Embrace your inner child, new friends, rekindle relationships, children or childhood. So that's what's happening in the next 4 weeks. It is a card about, you know, 2 people together. So potentially it could be that you meet somebody and you already know them. Okay, so that could be what that means. When we look at the second month, Got the Knight of Michael, strong, committed, intellectual, diligent, time to move quickly, use logic over emotion, sudden changes. So again, that could be the person riding in. So actually it feels like it's within 2 months that the person comes in. That's what that is feeling like. So maybe there's some kind of movements towards it in the next 2 weeks, but the next 2 months is where the energy is going with that. So it's not precise science with timing, because one thing with angels is that they don't live in this kind of time frame that we exist with upon the earth. They just don't have it. And so when we ask for things and we want them and we're expecting them, sometimes it can take years to bring them to us. So timing is one of those things that is a little bit elusive, but you can do various things to try and predict timing. I'll just show you the rest of this spread, because this is really good as a nice general spread to find out what's going on over the next 6 months. So you literally just draw a card for each of the months. So this is the first month, the second month, the third month, fourth, fifth and sixth. Okay. And so then you would have a look at the general themes, you would have a look at what are the messages that are coming out of this. And when you first start to do card reading and you're deciding what deck to choose, it's always important to choose a deck that is rich in imagery and words, because then that helps you to really divine exactly what it is your angels are trying to tell you and get that guidance. If you don't have a lot to go on, it's a lot harder. If you just have one image and nothing, no words on it, or you just get 3 or 4 words and an image that is just a kind of very general image and there's not much to go on, it's a lot harder. And those kind of angel cards, I guarantee you will be able to read them as you develop. But for now, the tarot decks, so the Archangel Power Tarot cards and the Angel Tarot cards are wonderful and really great starter decks, and basically they are the go-to decks that whenever I'm doing readings, they're the ones that I will always pull out first, because they're pretty fantastic. So I hope that's helped you to understand how to drill down deeper into a reading and how to make a very clear prediction about timings, and also to look at the next few months by choosing one card at a time. In this section, I'm going to show you how to choose cards to give a very specific yes or no, or very kind of concise answer to a very direct question. So it's not an open question such as what career should I choose, or what should I do about changing where I live. This is a question such as should I leave my job and pursue self-employment? Will I meet a new partner within the next 12 months? It could be, will my daughter do well in her exams? And so questions like that. So this is what we're going to use for that. And this is the Angel Answers Oracle cards. So there's 44 of these cards, and they've all got these very concise answers. They've also got gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous images on them. And I love just looking at them. The artwork's by Marius Michael George, and a beautiful artist. So the question I'm going to ask is, this is about my daughter and her exams. So she's been working really hard. So please, angels, could you tell me about my daughter and if she's going to do okay in her exams? And so the card is wait. So basically it's saying to me, wait and see. You're going to find out, because the answers aren't determined yet. She's actually right in the middle of doing her exams, so the results haven't come out. I might just ask another question again about it. And what I could say is, do I need to be concerned about her exam results? Is there anything that I could do to help? Am I helping her enough, should I say, with her exam results? I've got forgiveness. Okay, so that's interesting. So this card is saying to me, be patient. Don't try and get the answers before they come out, because that might influence her. If I go and tell her, oh, you're going to do really well in her exams, it might stop her from working as hard with that. Okay, I get the message. But I've got the forgiveness card. So in relation to, what should I do? Am I helping her enough? forgiveness. Now, what comes to mind when you see that? What advice would you give to me around that card? Because I'm getting something straight away with it. So I'll let you think about what you would do with that. What would you tell me? Okay, so what did you come up with? What did you think? Well, I think first of all, I'm always having a bit of a go at her about the tidiness of her bedroom. And I think that that card is saying, you know, cut her some slack, give her a little bit of leeway during this period of doing her exams. Be forgiving, be nurturing, be loving. Okay, I get the message. All right. I think it's also saying if she doesn't do so well in her exams, at least she tried really hard, and I've got to be understanding and compassionate about that. Isn't that great? So I hope it doesn't mean that she's not going to do so well in her exams. Okay, now other decks that you can use. I've created my own deck of oracle cards, and these have specific answers to questions on them. And so they were, because I created these because I couldn't find anything that was, you know, totally right for being able to answer questions specifically. So I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to ask, this is on behalf of a lady that I met on Saturday, and she's not very happy in her job, and she's applied for a job, and she's applying for new jobs. And I'd like to ask on her behalf, will she get a new job soon? So angels, please can you tell me if this lady that I met on Saturday, I've got her face in my mind as I'm shuffling, will she get a new job soon? Okay. All right, so the card that I chose is Seize the Moment, it's your time to shine. So isn't that fabulous? So that gives me an answer straight away for her. Bless her, she's out there, she's really ready. She says she's ready, and she's kind of procrastinated for a very long time because she's been waiting for getting money for this and that, and she's just had enough. And the card says Seize the Moment, it's your time to shine. So she's going to go off and shine in another career. Isn't that beautiful? Some other cards that I created, and you could create your own cards as well. You could do these with little cards that you print out and then chop up to just to the right size. It's cards that have different words on them. And I created these because when I'm doing readings, one of the things that I found was that people tell me about situations that are happening to them, and they don't feel very happy about it. So they may have been having trouble finding a job. They may be struggling with money. Their marriage may have broken down, or relationships broken down, or they're suffering from ill health. And one of the things that started to come into my mind is certain words. And these words are, I'm channeling angel messages. And basically, the way that I channel angel messages is it's a thought. And I just say what it is as my thought. And you have to trust yourself. Doreen Virtue calls it blur. So she says that whatever pops into your head, just say it and don't worry about it, because that's your ego trying to protect you from being wrong. It's fear again. So when we come from a place of love, if you just say, I feel I'm getting this word and I want to give it to you. And that's a gift to them. And with a gift, we can either accept it or we can reject it. Good stuff we tend to accept, bad things or things that are maybe not what we want to hear right now, or maybe that we're a little bit surprised by, or we don't understand, we tend to put them over here. And sometimes after a reading has happened, so several weeks later, months, whatever, those things actually start to clarify and come to fruition, and then we understand. So that's why the angel journal is really important to make notes in. So these are words, and these words are really good because it's all about, I think about what's the lesson in this for me, because the things that we're given, remember we agreed and we signed up to things before we came down to earth, but we've forgotten about that. It's about connecting with ourselves on a soul level again to try and find out what it was that we were meant to learn from certain experiences. So I want to know about this lady. She has a boss who is really demanding, and she just has a really hard time with him, and that's part of the reason why she wants to move on. What is the lesson from having had this boss for her? Now, the card that I drew there, and this other one underneath, which I've noticed I want to pull out as well, it's all about delight. So if she had not experienced this situation with this boss that's driven her nuts, that made her so want to get out of it, she might have just stayed there and plodded on and on and on. And she's not experiencing delight in this moment. She's not experiencing the fullness of her potential, and she can do that. And he's almost like the person who she's the table, and he's taking the leg and he's shaking and shaking and shaking until everything falls off and it makes her move on. And it's all about cleansing as well. It's about cleansing herself from that environment and moving into a better place. So that is an interesting thing to do as well. So you can get a bunch of words, and I will put these words into the notes for you as well that accompany this program, so you can create your own cards. And you can choose a word for yourself when you're looking for some kind of divine inspiration. But sometimes we don't want to sit and analyze cards. We want an answer. We want a very concise answer, and that gives that to us, but also more intuition comes through. So I hope you've enjoyed that section, all about asking direct questions and getting very specific answers to those direct questions. So in this final segment of the second half of Angel Wisdom Workshop, I would like to show you how to complete a reading, to close down from a reading, and to how to kind of send your cards off back into their box and cleanse them. So you have been thinking about people when you've been doing readings, and you're kind of bringing energy into the cards as you've done that. So before you put them back into their box, remember the way that I showed you about clearing your cards. Just give them a few knocks and then pop them back in and store them in their card box where they came from, because it just keeps them clean and stops them from getting damaged, and just protects them. So when you do readings, you've opened yourself up. You have opened your crown chakra up to be the recipient, the channel of all the angelic wisdom. And so now you need to ground and protect yourself. And you also, if you've been doing readings for other people, remember about the cords. The minute that you start giving to people, maybe they're in a fearful position because they're coming to you to ask about something, they're a little bit worried, and so they can attach etheric cords to you. So the way to clear yourself down is to just literally, and Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine teach this in their workshop, is to go chop. All right? I send you away with love, but chop. And then that chops them and releases them from you. There's also another releasing kind of ritual that you can do that is in the notes, and that's by Sonia Choquette, and so I'll include that in your notes for you too. Then if you just sit for a moment and close your eyes, and then I want you to imagine closing your crown chakra. So imagine it's like this lotus flower that's open. I want you to close it down and just imagine yourself in a bubble, protected. And also imagine those roots coming out the soles of your feet, grounding you. When you finish your reading, sometimes it's really nice to have a cup of tea, maybe have a little piece of chocolate or something like that. That's all grounding energy. It's about having something that brings you back down to earth and that kind of disconnects you, because you don't want to be thinking about all of these things and getting messages constantly. You want to have some time off. So that's a way to end your readings, and we will end this workshop by, I'm going to do this kind of ceremoniously, blowing out my candle, and in a cloud of smoke. I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch my videos, to read the notes, to take part in this Angel Wisdom Workshop. I wouldn't have been able to do this without all of the interest that you've shown in my work and my interest in angels. So thank you so much for allowing me to do this and for sharing it with me. I want to wish you the very best of luck with everything that you do, with angel card readings, with connecting with your angels, with bringing in the divine energy of the archangels. And I wish you so much love and so many blessings.